Welcome to the LibertyCon 34 virtual panel with Steve Jackson talking about the greatest game ever, Munchkin, and the special cards that he creates every year for LibertyCon. I don't think we really need an introduction.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And we have our head of gaming at LibertyCon.
I'm the assistant head. I'm her assistant.
And I'm your cat wrangler, William Joseph Roberts, for the evening. Where did this whole idea start?
Well, it started in Chattanooga, but you didn't mean where that way. You mean how did it start, said the editor. I was at a LibertyCon auction, and as I recall, I just sort of stood up and said, I will do a custom Munchkin card that will be official in the game. If anybody wants to bid on it. And lo and behold, they did. Oh, heavens to Elizabeth, how they did. Misty, is that the way you remember it? I mean, I think it was just exactly that formal.
Yep, it was exactly. It was you just stood up in the middle of it and were like, I'll donate a custom Munchkin card. And we had put in one of the prizes that we had to give away in for the charity auction, I believe it was our top bidded item for the year.
Anyway,
it normally is.
It did well enough that we made a tradition out of it because I always go to LibertyCon and people keep playing Munchkins. So, yeah.
All right. So okay. Now, out of curiosity, how much did that first auction get out of that first donated Munchkin card?
I don't know if there's even a record.
There is, and I don't know if this is correct, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but you can cut it out if I'm not. But I believe it was 700 the first year.
I know it was close to that. I was going to say it was well over 500.
Nice. That is awesome. I don't see why we couldn't say that because it's going to the con charity. So
yeah, it does. All of it goes to charity.
So we don't get to keep any of it. No gold for us.
All right, curiosity question for me, and I know the boys are going to absolutely love the answer on this one. Where did you come up with the idea for Munchkin?
Probably in Austin.
Okay. Ow. What inspired the idea?
I'm going to do that to you again if I get the chance. If you do it 3 times, it's a running joke, and Munchkin lives on running jokes. The idea was just let's do a takeoff on the bad kind of D&D, where all you do is grovel for levels and argue about the rules. Let's do a parody of that. And most of the cards were written at 30,000 feet in altitude, sitting in a plane on the way to a convention in maybe it was Albuquerque, I'm not sure, along with my sweetie Monica. And we made up a lot of the classic cards right there in the air, as well as a couple that just didn't work at all.
That's just absolutely cool.
But when we got to the convention, people, I mean, the rules were really rough and the cards were handwritten. And when my hand gave out, Monica started writing. But people had fun and kept playing and kept playing. And we knew it was going to be good.
So when the muse strikes, you just keep cranking.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What does it take to... what's the process from idea to actual fruition of a card being in your hand?
Well, first I need a basic idea, and then I need a stupid joke to go with the basic idea, unless the stupid joke was the basic idea. Sometimes it just starts with a play on words, but sometimes it starts with, we need a card to do such and so. How can we make this really dumb so people will laugh?
Mm-hmm.
And we kick it around, play testing happens, and then if the card is still good, it goes to one of our artists, quite possibly John Kovalik, who was our founding artist for the game. And they draw a dumb picture to go with the dumb words. And then there's a Munchkin card.
Okay.
The title and the text and the art all have to work together to make you smile, but make it clear what the card is supposed to do.
On average, what's the time frame? A year, 6 months?
Oh, if everything is on a roll, then it can be ready for playtesting in an evening, and then the playtesting happens when it happens. A lot of the LibertyCon cards have taken a long time because I had to personally go to the deepest jungles of Ecuador to track down the buyers to get their photographs. I'm never smart enough to take their pictures right there at the convention.
Okay.
So the getting a photograph and then corresponding to figure out what it is they'd like on the card makes those cards real slow. And I'd like to make them faster. Misty, you can help me by physically restraining the buyers so I can get their picture.
We're going to do that. We have it all set up. We're going to put them in gamer gel until their pictures are taken.
That sounds good.
What kind of cards have we had for LibertyCon
Previous
so far?
years? Well, we actually have a display of the majority of them. And I say that because we had when you auction off your cards the next year at Liberty is when they're presented to you. So obviously the last physical convention we haven't been able to present, and then we had a virtual convention. So I don't have those on our lovely display yet.
And as far as I know, and I think I know, they've all been sent out.
Yes.
Because we corresponded with people, and everybody eventually said, no, this is taking forever. Let me get my cards.
Yeah. So they've been sent, but there was no presentation.
Yeah.
Like there were in other years.
And apparently I didn't save enough to go around to the LC personnel. So we'll have to see what we can find.
Yeah. So I keep a copy of every one of them to display in our gaming room. And sometimes it sneaks out into other LibertyCon events. But Clockwork Dragon.
Here's a plug, but Misty runs a very good gaming room.
Oh, thank you.
I sit around and look important and play games. That's my job as assistant.
And we have something for everybody. Kids as young as, like, if they can count, we have games. So yeah. But Clockwork Dragon was the first one. It was the very first one that we had.
And that's a very good card. I'd like to sneak that into a set sometime because it is such a fine card.
It is. It's an amazing card. It is.
Why don't you read it? It's a very powerful card, but it takes a certain amount of work to get it going for you.
It does. So the Clockwork Dragon must be wound up before it can be used. On your first turn after you put it into play, before you kick in a door, wind it up by putting one token on it. And it's one of the few cards, Munchkin cards, that uses tokens. On your next turn, wind it again, add another token. And it's ready. When you use it, remove the tokens. When it again has 2 tokens, it can be used again, and so on. And it's worth 800 gold, but it is a +8 to your attack.
And my notes say that one was bought for Dana Bridges.
There you go. I want to get everybody's names so I can put their names underneath their cards. Some of them have their names in them. Some of them don't. Then I have our next one is Curse. You're schooled by Mr. Fanny. The dungeon science teacher flunks you so hard you lose 2 levels.
Yes. That was bought by Matt Fanny, who is a LibertyCon staffer and a great guy.
He's amazing.
And he really is a teacher.
Okay, so the winner of the auction gets to pick what the card is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And they talk with me until we come up with something that we agree is is silly and represents what they want represented. Some
Yes.
people want themselves on it. Some people want their significant other on it. And as I recall, Dana just consulted with her whole family, and they came up with a card idea they liked.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a very interactive process.
Yeah, and everybody talks about it, and I know Steve gives everybody, packets of their cards for them to give out to who they want.
Yes, they get 500 of their card.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then normally we get a packet to give out to staff and things too, but we'll figure that out for the ones we miss.
We'll figure that out, and they get to make. I mean, we go back and forth a lot. Like Matt specified that his necktie on his card be electric blue.
I remember him talking about that. And the child in the card is the child version of our Munchkin guy.
Okay.
So,
Yes, it's Little Spike.
yes. The next one is Christopher Robin. It's a level 10 creature. He's a Rocket Robin +4 against bards.
And
The bad stuff is you are rocked out. Lose a musical item of your choice. If you have no item, then it is obviously musical. Lose the item of your choice and explain how it would make music. And he's worth 3 treasures.
and Christopher wanted to himself be on the card, so we made him a monster. But he's a Robin.
So our next one, which we'll get some better pictures in here, but it's Brandy's card. And Brandy, you play during any combat, and it's a +4 to either side, or a +8 if played at LibertyCon. But she is usable only once because Brandy is a treasure.
And the card shows the bottle of brandy that it supposedly represents, but it's being held by our Brandy.
Yes, and the
Who is
Statue of
obviously
Liberty.
happy.
Yeah. And then I can't get the pictures all the way in here, but the next one is another creature, level 10, Mary Sue. Nothing phases Mary Sue. Nothing. No cards can be played to reduce her combat strength in any way. The bad stuff is you become irrelevant to the plot. It's about her now. Lose a level. And she's also 3 treasures.
Yes. Just for
That's absolutely horrible.
Yes, for those who don't know what that joke is about, Mary Sue is when you do self-insertion fanfic and your character takes over the fanfic.
Yes.
So the story is really about you. And a Mary Sue character is super powerful and has no flaws except cute ones. And that one was for Doug Lampert.
Yeah. The next one is a +4, the Low Rider.
Let me explain that one before you read it. That one was for Christoph Low. Low means lion in German.
Yes.
So the Low Rider is a lion rider.
Okay. And he is a steed. Okay. He is a steed. He's our only steed. And then our last one that I have is Perfectly Tailored. It is a +4 bonus, and the card must be placed with an armor, headgear, or footgear that gives a combat bonus. That item is now the Perfectly Tailored whatever, and it's worth an extra +4 in combat. This card does go with the item if it is lost, stolen, or discarded.
And that was for Jonna Hayden, who is a hobbyist tailor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the only other thing on our board is I drew a version of Spike for LibertyCon. That we put on here with all his little cheats and everything. So we got to get the rest of them added on and make our lovely.
Well, as Riff says, let me look at my notes. Let me check my notes. That's the quote. I will check my notes and see what I can tell you about the cards you don't have. Andrew Souvenet is an iron worker, a blacksmith. So he got to be the fearsome forge master with his leather apron. Nick Breaker bought a card for his wife Charita, who plays the cello, and that's Charita's mellow cello. Charita's music sends everyone to dreamland. On the turn you play this, you may require any one player to help you without reward unless it is for the win. For the rest of the round, no player can choose a helper without your permission.
Okay.
That's a good card.
And Gary Bamberger wanted to be Death, but he wanted to be, and we used the text for the German card representing Death, except in English. But Gary has a zoot suit in Joker colors. So this is Death in purple and green.
Nice.
Let's see. And Charles Bussey got the card Charlie Horse.
Oh, I heard about that one.
Charlie Horse is a good card, and I don't have notes on the wording. But let's see. I found two in the book, and then I gave up because this is my big book of boosters and promos and miscellaneous. But it's not organized by source for the promo cards. So, needless to say, I was not able to find everything that's in here, but I want to see.
I've at least seen the Charlie Horse. That one sounds familiar.
Believe that was our virtual con one.
We've got so many cards now. It's. I mean, we got stacks of them.
I think, yeah, there are 11 according to my notes. Okay, there's a copy of Brandy and a copy of Christopher Robin. You've got both those.
Mm-hmm.
And the others, I'm just going to have to shake down various secret hiding places and see what I can find. But if all else fails, you can ask nicely to the owners of the cards, who will probably all come back to LibertyCon over and over, and see if they've got an extra for you.
Yes, because we would like to add it to our lovely display so we can show it off.
And if they have two extras, they could give one back to me, because there's no reason that I couldn't make a special page on here for LibertyCon. I mean, each one of these binder pages holds 9 cards, so LibertyCon is a 2-page section all by itself, not counting what we're going to do this year. Oh, I should talk about the gimmick. We haven't been doing this for 11 years, but when the bidding reaches a secret amount, which is usually at least 700 and sometimes more, then we double the lot, and the 2 highest bidders they both get cards.
Okay.
And one year we did 3 because there was a misunderstanding. It was a COVID year and everything was being done by mail, and there were time zones and so on. And the easiest thing to do was to say, fine, there are 3 high bidders, and do them all cards. Because we kind of messed up, and the way to make everybody happy was to have 3 cards. Fine, more cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so with these special cards, besides hunting down the people that won the auction, is there any way to get them?
What we do is we print usually 5,000 of each card, and we use them for promos when people order for Warehouse 23, except for the ones that we have shipped to the owner. And they can do whatever they want to with theirs, but we give them a year's moratorium. There's a year when you can the only way to get them is to talk to the person who commissioned them. Then after that, we just put them in the stack of cards that are given away at Warehouse 23. And you always get some freebies when you order from our online store, but you never know what you're going to get. I never know what you're going to get.
Maybe that's why that one sounded familiar. I bet we've got that card.
You may have.
Okay. 'Cause I've already bought like 2 or 3 signed sets from you because, for the kids and my goddaughter, and, just trying to spread the wealth because, it's a good
You're a
game.
good godfather.
It's a great game. You can sit down and, it's just as good as D&D because you've actually got to think through the process of what you're doing. There's problem solving involved.
Yes, and the other thing, I'm going to give away a Munchkin secret that I've given away before, that lot of good that's done. But the way to win the game is to be cooperative for as long as you can stand it. You shouldn't start backstabbing right away
Yep.
because the more deals you make, the more extra cards you're likely to get. The way to win is to be cooperative until the exact right moment. But that right moment is not at level 3.
um,
There's another secret. The newbie always wins.
The newbie very often wins because nobody is watching for the newbie.
Hmm. They're like, oh, they're figuring it out. They're not gonna win, and then they win.
And then they figured it out.
um,
It's very much a take that game. Somebody who never gets kicked in the shins is likelier to win.
Yes.
Now, Munchkin started out originally as just a straight up dice game, didn't it?
Cards.
Okay. Okay. Because what was it? Because Barnes and Noble or Books a Million, somebody needed to have a board for it to go into their game section.
Yeah, and then we made the deluxe sets that have a game board to keep track of levels.
Okay. 'Cause I'd heard the rumor about that, and I wasn't sure if it was actually true or not, how that process went.
Yeah, it started off as a straight card game. The board was added for marketing reasons.
Okay.
And
Makes total sense.
it does make the game more visual to play. The Batman board, for instance, is a thing of beauty. It's John Kovalik's take on Gotham City by night.
Do you have a particular card that is like just holds that special place in your heart?
I have a couple of dozen that have a special place in my heart. It's like, which of your children do you like best?
That's fair.
You love them all.
The one's not the asshole. How's that one?
Yeah.
I have one. I have a card that Steve himself made me. And I actually got it out. It stays in a frame. But this is, if Steve makes you a card, this is the kind of what it'll look like. But
Because I can't draw.
I have the Fuzzy Monkey of Coping card. I get to ignore all bad stuff, and this is the inspiration for it. So yeah, but yeah, that's my favorite card. But I don't play it often. I only play it when we're having very friendly games because I am a mib, so it's not fair if I play it when I'm being a mib. So,
Yeah.
MIB stands for Man in Black.
Yes.
Our Men in Black are our demonstration team. They don't have to be men and they don't have to wear black.
Okay.
Basically, we decide when you stop fighting over the rules.
Is there anything Munchkin wise or anything Steve Jackson games that you'd like to promo before we get off here?
Wow. If you're going to be at LibertyCon, you should definitely come to the What's New at XJ Games panel. I will be showing off Batman. I'll be showing off some other new stuff. I guess if I'm going to be doing a pitch, I should just say follow us everywhere you can. Follow us on Kickstarter to hear about the new campaigns. We're using Kickstarter a lot now.
Okay.
And follow us on Twitter to read stupid stuff. And I mean, we make serious announcements there, but I also type junk. And I get paid for this, guys, really.
Okay, well, where can we find your stuff? What's the website?
It's sjgames.com.
Okay.
And the Munchkin site you can reach directly at munchkin.game.
Okay. Oh, that was a question I had for you.
42.
Well, no, damn it. What was the most exciting Munchkin moment that you've had? Because I know Munchkin was featured in the Guild, of all things.
Yeah, there have been a lot of exciting moments. Let me name two. One of them was when we sold out of the first press run so quickly, and Monica said, "I told you so," and because she had said print more. And so we went back for a second printing and we printed twice as many. And she goes, "Not enough." And she was right, because the third press run happened real soon. The other one was when we went on tabletop with Will Wheaton and Felicia Day and did the Munchkin demo. And that was awesome. And they're good players. Will really loves Munchkin, and he has a Munchkin card of his own. And Felicia's good. Felicia is scary.
Oh, really?
Do not let that harmless exterior fool you.
Oh, she's cutthroat then.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Wait, you actually got to play with them?
Yes. Yes.
I have not seen that episode. Okay.
You should you should watch it.
Okay. I have to dig
I'm
through
not
there and
telling
find
you
that.
who won, but I had fun.
Okay. Anything else you want to say? Wrap it up, or let's see. You've already did the Munchkin, the Steve Jackson games. Anything to look forward to at LibertyCon, Cap, for the gaming room?
Yeah, there's one of the special things about LibertyCon is Steve always brings stuff for us to demo. So there is stuff that is in all stages that we've gotten to play and demo, and stuff that's not out yet, and he will premiere something. So, there's always something exciting going on with the games. In fact, there was one that I still haven't seen come out yet, but I'm waiting on it. But Cat's Toys was really, really fun. We had a good time with it.
Yeah, that one is still not scheduled, largely because play testing it gave me another idea that everybody liked better.
That happens a lot. But yeah,
so
LibertyCon is the one place we get to play a lot of unique games that you may never get to see again. And then you may, in a year or so, see that finished project out there and be like, I helped make that rule. And when we're playtesting, if you help make rules, a lot of times you get a shout out.
Sometimes you get a shout out and sometimes you don't.
Yeah. But it was you that gave them the idea, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
That's all kind of good.
And there's great stuff in the game room that I have nothing to do with, and you should come play that too. There's a rocket scientists game of terraforming Mars that will happen.
God,
that's fun to watch.
I've been playing the online version of it, and that's bad enough. I'd hate to sit down with Jim and a couple of them other guys.
It's because LibertyCon draws rocket scientists, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
But we always have the Spades tournament. We have some D&D games that are going to go on. We have our Cthulhu game. And then I'll have, we have one of our game shops that will be there with a bunch of different stuff.
Game On Chattanooga.
Yes, Game On Chattanooga. They're a great store. And then I have my personal library that I bring, and I probably am going to be bringing over 200 games, including all my Munchkin stuff.
Remember when you were Queen of the Hobgoblins?
Yes, I am still Queen of the Hobgoblins. That was another playtest adventure we had.
Yes.
It was fun.
She killed all the heroes.
I played the bad guys and I won. So yeah. But yeah, that was, we have so many games. We have things for every age, every type. I have everything from the Dark Crystal to Pooh. So we've got something for everybody.
Okay.
And then you get to play with Steve because he'll be in there.
That's the plan.
Yep. All right. So check it out at LibertyCon. You will not be disappointed in the game room this year with Steve Jackson and Kat running the show.
Okay.
I'm the host, William Joseph Roberts. Take it easy.